Relationships are complex, and despite the deep connection two people may share, they can sometimes unravel due to a variety of challenges. Understanding why relationships fall apart is essential for recognizing the signs early and working through issues before they become insurmountable. Often the reasons behind a relationship's breakdown are not due to one singular issue, but rather a combination of factors that compound over time. By exploring these underlying struggles, couples can gain insight into the difficulties they may face and take proactive steps to address them. Poor communication is one of the most common causes behind relationship breakdowns. When partners struggle to express their thoughts, feelings, or needs openly, misunderstandings are bound to occur. Often, partners may assume the other person understands their emotions or frustrations, only for those assumptions to lead to disappointment and confusion. Communication problems can also arise from a lack of active listening, where one person is more focused on reacting than truly understanding the other's perspective. Over time, this inability to communicate effectively can breed frustration, emotional distance, and a sense that one's needs are not being met. Without healthy communication channels, it's difficult to resolve problems or even understand each other's concerns, leading to a growing disconnect that weakens the relationship. Trust is the foundation upon which every strong relationship is built. When trust is broken, whether through infidelity, dishonesty, or unmet expectations, it can be incredibly challenging to rebuild. Lack of trust can manifest in many forms, from constant questioning and suspicion to an inability to rely on each other. In some cases, past betrayals or unresolved emotional wounds linger, causing one or both partners to doubt each other's intentions. Even if no major betrayal has occurred, small, consistent lies or broken promises can slowly erode trust over time. Without trust, partners may struggle to feel safe and secure, both emotionally and physically. Rebuilding trust takes patience, transparency, and a genuine willingness to heal, but without addressing it, the relationship may ultimately fall apart. An emotional disconnect occurs when one or both partners begin to feel distant, neglected, or misunderstood. This often happens when couples stop making the effort to stay emotionally engaged with each other. Over time, this disengagement can turn into resentment, where partners feel that their needs are not being met or that the other person isn't fully invested in the relationship. An emotional disconnect might also result from unresolved issues that have been swept under the rug or ignored, creating a sense of growing frustration. As emotional intimacy fades, the couple may begin to feel like roommates rather than romantic partners. This detachment can lead to a spiral of isolation where each partner starts looking inward or elsewhere for emotional fulfillment, ultimately jeopardizing the bond between them. Conflict is a natural part of any relationship, but when it remains unresolved, it can fester and create long-term damage. Constant arguing or failing to address key issues can leave both partners feeling unheard and unappreciated. Over time, these unaddressed issues may feel insurmountable and the tension can become unbearable. In some relationships, one partner may avoid confrontation altogether, bottling up their feelings until they eventually explode in an unhealthy way. Alternatively, when conflict is handled poorly, through shouting matches, blaming, or withdrawing, it only deepens the divide between partners. If issues are not tackled directly, it becomes increasingly difficult to find a common ground or come to a resolution. Unresolved conflicts create emotional baggage that both partners carry with them, and the longer they remain unresolved, the harder it becomes to move forward. Life is always changing, and as individuals evolve, so do their priorities. Sometimes these changes can lead partners in different directions. For example, one person might develop a strong desire for career advancement, while the other wants to focus more on family life. These shifts in priorities can cause friction if they're not addressed. It's common for people to grow in different directions as they age or experience life events, such as having children, going back to school, or experiencing personal growth. While it's natural to change over time, when these changes aren't discussed or embraced together, they can create a sense of misalignment between partners. If one person feels that their evolving goals or values aren't being supported or understood, it can lead to emotional distance and, ultimately, the breakdown of the relationship. Incompatibility often becomes evident when fundamental differences between partners begin to surface. These differences may be in values, lifestyles, or even life goals. For example, one partner may value stability and routine, while the other thrives on spontaneity and adventure. These kinds of differences can seem minor at first, but over time they can build up and create significant tension. When partners don't share the same vision for their future, such as differing views on marriage, children, or career paths, it can lead to dissatisfaction and a feeling of being stuck. While some incompatibilities can be worked through, others may be insurmountable, particularly if they involve core beliefs or desires. When two people realize they're no longer aligned in their life paths, it can create a sense of disconnection and frustration that is difficult to resolve. External stressors can come from a variety of sources, such as financial problems, work-related pressures, or family conflicts. These external factors can weigh heavily on a relationship, especially when both partners struggle to manage them individually or together. Financial stress, for instance, can lead to arguments, resentment, and a sense of helplessness. Similarly, work pressures, such as long hours or job insecurity, can make it difficult for couples to find quality time together, creating emotional strain. Family issues, such as caring for aging parents or dealing with children's challenges, can also introduce tension. If couples fail to support each other through these external pressures or don't communicate effectively about their stresses, it can exacerbate the situation, causing further strain on the relationship. Neglect or complacency in a relationship occurs when one or both partners stop putting effort into maintaining the connection. Over time, the excitement and effort that were once present can fade, especially when daily routines take over and other priorities take precedence. The feeling of being taken for granted can develop when partners stop showing appreciation for each other, or when one person feels like the relationship has become predictable and stagnant. Complacency may lead to a lack of effort in small everyday gestures, whether it's a thoughtful comment, physical affection, or quality time. This absence of intentionality can lead to feelings of emotional abandonment and dissatisfaction as partners begin to feel that the relationship no longer holds the same value or importance it once did. Intimacy is a key pillar of any romantic relationship, but it can fade over time if not nurtured. Physical intimacy might diminish due to stress, routine, or unresolved conflicts, while emotional intimacy might decline if partners stop sharing their thoughts and vulnerabilities with each other. The lack of intimacy often creates a feeling of loneliness within the relationship. One or both partners may feel disconnected or unfulfilled, and without intimacy it can be difficult to maintain the closeness that once existed. When intimacy wanes, it becomes harder to connect on a deeper level, and both partners may start feeling like they're in a relationship out of habit rather than genuine emotional bond. Rebuilding intimacy often requires vulnerability, time, and a conscious effort to reconnect emotionally and physically. In the end, relationships fall apart when emotional, communicative, and practical challenges remain unaddressed, causing frustration, distrust, and disconnection. However, these struggles are not insurmountable. To fix a relationship, it's crucial for both partners to foster open communication, rebuild trust through honesty and transparency, and commit to resolving conflicts together. Reigniting emotional intimacy, setting aside time for each other, and aligning long-term goals can also help re-establish a deeper connection. By actively addressing the issues that arise and prioritizing the relationship, couples can rebuild a stronger foundation and move forward together. It may take time and effort, but with mutual commitment and the willingness to grow, many relationships can be saved and strengthened.